IFR chart briefing. Los Materos BOR TME approach for runway 26, flyby 26-004. Well, hello again. Here we have the BOR TME approach for runway 26 for Los Materos, which is based on a hypodrome and a procedure tear in this case. And as you can see, we have the minimum holding altitude about 6,500 feet, and we have a holding based on a radial and distance, which is DME 7. This will be our initial approach fix for our approach, and then we have on the DME 9, we have the intermediate fix for the approach. Well, this approach depends of how do we achieve to the initial approach fix by the 86. We may can expect different options about the procedure or what we have to fly on the approach. So let's suppose that we are proceeding towards the DME 7 to the initial approach fix, and we're proceeding by a radial, let's say north, on a heading 180. So in this case, our procedure that will be we're gonna join on the parallel entry, we're gonna proceed left turn outbound for 088, and after a minute we're gonna back, making a left turn to catch the inbound 268, again back to the DME 7. As it is in a parallel entry, remember that we have to complete the entry procedure plus at least one lap before we can start our approach. So after that, we're gonna make a right turn on heading 088 for the outbound leg. When we pass the DME 7 or where we have the winds level, which have a latest, we're gonna take time for 1 minute, and we're gonna proceed to the outbound leg. After the minute, we're gonna again back turn right to 68 to catch the inbound leg towards the DME 7, and then we can start our approach. That will be the procedure that we're gonna follow for the parallel entries. If you're gonna clear by the agency directly to the DME 7 and we come in like from somewhere else here, and then radial 090 for example, we don't need to make any holding on the approach, so we just can pass the DME 7 and we can just drop automatically to the outbound leg for the approach. So we don't need to require any holding when we are clear or we're coming by the sector to the approach. If you're coming by here, the procedure is a bit different, but it's almost the same as if we're making a teardrop entry. Of course, we are coming by a teardrop sector towards the holding, but we can just continue after the station for 1 minute, and in this case we don't need to make a right turn to catch the inbound leg of the holding 268, that we can maintain on a right heading 088 to DME 9, and then right turn again back to the intermediate fix for the approach. We don't need to make a teardrop entry back to the station and then just starting again back the hypodrome, because we just can drop after a minute when we come in by the teardrop sector. So let's suppose that we come in, as we said before, by radial north. We are making a point to point towards the initial approach fix, and there we go with the chart briefing. So that will be Los Materos airfield, 21st of January 2017, 13-2, and it's flyby 26-004 BOR DME approach runway 26. We have the approach based on the BOR Echo Oscar Sierra 112.0. The final approach cost will be 268. The minimum altitude on DME 7, which is our final approach fix, will be 5,100 feet. And the minimums for the approach will be 2,900 feet. The airport elevation and airport runway are 2,600 feet. We come in by the sectors more or less, so we're going to be between 3,200 and 4,500 feet on the MCA, which is based on the Echo Oscar Sierra BOR, sorry, I just confused. We come in by here, so let's say 4,500 feet. So when we clear by the ATC and when we're ready for the approach, when I come into the initial approach fix, so when I hold in, when I join on a parallel entry, when I back to the inbound of 268, we need to complete one lap before we can drop. So when we're completing the lap on the inbound left, we're gonna complete our before distance checklist. So when we pass the DME7, we're gonna make a right turn towards 088, and in this case, we're gonna proceed outbound till DME9. I do recommend to all of you that when we are making this, when we fly in this 088 heading, I do recommend you to have the OBS or HSI, your radial alive. That will help you that when you make the right turns towards the final approach fix, you will more or less have almost radial intercept when you finish your turn towards heading 0268. So we will maintain on this left 6,100 feet, which is our minimum holding altitude, and once we are on the DME9, before turning towards here, we're going to complete our approach checklist, and then we're going to make a right turn towards DME9 to intercept the final approach course 268. When we pass DME9, we could descend towards our final approach fix to DME7, and we will descend in those 2 miles 1,400 feet. So it will be a very deep descent, about approximately 1,000 feet per minute. And before DME7, approximately on DME8, we will complete a final checklist that will be do and read type of checklist, and we have to read before DME7. When we pass DME7, we're going to continue descending towards DME4 from 5,100 feet to 4,100 feet. That will be 1,000 feet in a 3 miles, 2 minutes, so approximately at 500 feet per minute rate of descent. And then we'll continue from DME4 towards minimums, which is on DME1, again 3 miles more, 2 minutes, and we will descend towards 2,100 feet. So more or less we will take about 1,200 feet to descend, about 2 minutes, so we apparently are making a 600 feet per minute rate of descent. Our minimums will be at 2,100 feet, as we said, and in case we don't have the runway inside, we're going to continue head ahead to 4,000 feet, then we're making a right turn towards DME7, and we're going to join again back on the holding. As we said, we're going to complete before distance when we are on the holding, when we are on this 088 heading before turning towards the final approach course, we're going to complete our approach checklist. And before DME7, we're going to complete our final approach of our final checklist. Again, when we pass DME7, we're going to make a small review about the go ramp, which is climb straight ahead to 4,000 and then right turn towards DME7.